What's up, guys, and welcome back. I got this 23 C8 Corvette here. I got it all ripped apart. So there's a lot going on in this garage right now. Oh my God, this thing weighs a ton. I got the C8 set up over my mid-rise lift, got my jack pads and in the right points and all that. And I just picked up these stands for when I pull the bumper off this thing. It's got a nice foam pad on it, nice cushion. These were cheap. These were like 30, I think they were 35 bucks each. Instead of just taking one from, you know, one of the old shops I worked at or something. We're gonna pull this thing apart, get the muffler off, start making a fixture. I got kind of my pieces, some pieces lined up here with how I want to do this in my head, just to kind of get me warmed up on the mental side of things. So let's get into it and yeah, take it from there. So just like that, we're up. Time to rip this bumper off. Now these cars, from what I've seen, are quite a bit different. Basically this whole rear section has to come off. So that'll probably include the wheels, just so that I can get into some of the hardware in the fender well. The tips kind of sit, you can't really see them from if you're above. So my system, I think I'm gonna have it so they're a slip-on, you can clamp them on. That way it gives you a little bit of a, I don't know, personal touch. However you want it set up, you can do that. So this is the stock muffler. It's actually exposed from the factory, but you wouldn't really notice because it's got that black heat shield on it. So ours will be all nice 304 stainless, and you'll be able to probably see the X pipe underneath, which will be pretty cool because really, I mean, this sits pretty low as it is. It's not gonna sit any lower than what you see here, which I'd say is about 3 inches lower than this rear valance.
Just folding the carpet fender liner over the brake caliper and hub assembly. That way it's out of the way. It won't cause any damage, leave any marks or anything like that. Here's the factory exhaust with the heat shield and optional NPP valve. Here's the heat shielding on the fender liner. Some people paint this black or add like a black vinyl over top. You can see the harness for the motor. This is the optional NPP valve for more noise.
This side feels more solid than that one. I don't know why, but we're gonna find out.
I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but up there, see that shiny nut? I don't think that's factory. We'll see when we get to the other side, but it looks like something was dropped and then lost and then replaced with that, but we're gonna see when we get to the other side there. Anyways, I'm gonna zip these guys out. They hold the bumper kind of clipped into the body along that rear body line. It doesn't look too bad to pull this thing.
GM must have had a Torx bits surplus when they built these cars because there's about 4,785 across the top of this rear bumper. The two in the corners, you're going to want to use hand tools as they sit on an angle just to avoid damaging the paint. Aside from that and a couple clips for the taillight connections and camera, it's pretty straightforward to pull this bumper.
Ta-da! So you pop this tab back, it's like a lock, and then you're able to depress that pin right here. Same goes for this one and then this one. There's only 3 plugs on that rear bumper. You don't have to unplug the taillights individually. They did a really nice job designing this vehicle.
1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you wrestle this carpet piece out. It's a bit of a struggle for that seal, but once you get it out, it's access to that panel, which then you can get to your bolts for your exhaust.
Right there, bunch more T15s.
You basically need one tool to take this whole car apart, but it's pretty cool. I like that.
Can get to all my bolts here. The bottom one looks like it's going to be blind on this guy here, but this one I can see both of them for the pinch clamp, and that's great. Moving right along. Cool.
Okay, so since this car is a full jam, it has 4 valves on the exhaust system. It has 2, which are 1, 2 back there. Those are the AFM valves, so that when the car goes into 4-cylinder mode or 4-cylinder, V4, cylinder deactivation, whatever you want to call it. Now, it also has the NPP valves, but those basically, when those open up, that's more or less a straight pipe, whereas this would go through the muffler body and silence the vehicle. So this is a pretty simple install if you're going to do this yourself. A T15, I think I have a 7mm out. Yeah, a 7mm, a T15, 1/4-inch ratchet, a 10. I believe it's a 15 and a 13 for the exhaust bolts. That's all I've used so far. You will need like a mini screwdriver or some type of pick for the clips. I found that the lower bolts on this side and the other side were easiest to get to if I just kind of snuck my ratchet in down here and around, and I put it on, and then I actually went underneath and the handle was hanging down, I was able to loosen the bolt. Even though this one looks pretty visible, I did the same thing here. I put the ratchet on and pointed the handle down, and I was able to crack it free, loosen it from the underside of the vehicle. I left 2 nuts, one on each side, just so that if it were to drop, it's not gonna drop all the way, it's not gonna move very far. So, but this has gone really smooth so far.
So the last thing I gotta remove before the hangers is this like Batman symbol shaped half diffuser underneath the car. So you just pull that off. It's a couple panel popper clip deals and a couple screws, not a big deal. All right, now we're gonna kick it up a notch and get real fancy with the hanger pliers. And then I just use the 13 mil to zip the hanger brackets off the very back of the car. And you'll notice I slipped my X stand in there too, because this muffler is an absolute tank. So when I remove the next side, I don't want this thing to drop and fall.
I got my exhaust resting on the stands there. Just gotta slip out those 2 nuts so it can come right out. Got my AFM valves off. Got my NPP valves disconnected. Okay. We are free and clear. Now, this is the tricky part. We're gonna have to walk it this way. And I'm just gonna hop in here. Again, this would be much easier with 2 people, but we gotta make do with what we got, right? So, we got 1 people. Holy cow, this thing weighs a ton. Whew. You wanna move slow and gracefully because you don't know what's touching or whatever. And these valve bodies here, they're made of plastic, so they would easily break. We don't want that. That there, ladies and gents, is your C8 Corvette exhaust. Thing weighs a ton. So now we're gonna get it on the bench and we're gonna start making a fixture for this thing. Holy cow. Whew. They did not make this a light piece, but I am gonna make this a light piece. Take a look at this thing. Just one big chunky monkey. So you got the flexes. Here you can see the valves. Pretty cool. So obviously when the car commands it to, these motors will close them. They have holes in them so that the exhaust can still come through, and then it will open when it's flowing, because a 4-cylinder, I guess, only needs to flow what those holes are. Pretty interesting concept and the way they did it, but it works, I guess, right?
I started kind of framing up for a fixture here, and then what I quickly realized was with the way that the stock exhaust is, it'd be much easier and more time efficient or effective of me to actually build my exhaust on the car and build my fixture based off of my exhaust. Because the stock exhaust has like square tips and all this stuff, you know, it'd just be too hard to make it what I want and know it's gonna work how I want the first time. So in the meantime, I whipped up this cute little X pipe here. She's a beauty. See that? So this is gonna sit kind of somewhere around there. My pipes are gonna come in from, I haven't figured it out yet if it's gonna be the top or the bottom.
And that'll wrap up today's episode. Thanks for tuning in and watching how to pull the bumper on a C8 Corvette. If you like this kind of content and want to see more on the exhaust fabrication for this vehicle in the coming videos, don't forget to subscribe, and please leave a like, share, comment, write anything in the comment section below. It helps us out a tremendous amount. And once again, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.